And we are live at Hayes Social in Shelby Township, 21 Mile in Hayes, and this place cleared out in a hurry. I mean, it was
a fantastic crowd.
Packed. Literally, everybody it was literally like you were at the game. Everybody just walked the hell out, and I honestly don't blame them. The way that game ended, the way some of the clock management, this was not Dan Campbell football by any stretch of the imagination. And we're going to get into all of it. First of all, welcome into the Lions postgame show live at Hayes Social. My name is Stick. This is Anson Wells. We've been doing the postgame show on Woodward for about 4 years right now. So, we've seen it all. This isn't going to make me flinch, but we'll get into some of the panic buttons that have been hit around here. First, we got to show love to our sponsors, of course. We got Sabbath Coffee. We got New Holland Brewery. We got 1800 Tequila. Tullamore Dew. Soroki's was here. All right, Anson, let's get into the dirty. Where do you want to start with this?
I'm going to start with the quote from Dan Campbell at the end of halftime.
Okay, I didn't hear it because I was here.
I totally screwed our guys, is word for word what he said. It was his mistake on the sideline at the end of the first half where I guess the call was hurricane, where basically they want to rush out the kick crew because it takes about 16 seconds to get a kickoff. But it was very clear with 3 seconds left on the clock that they needed to spike it. There was miscommunication on the sideline, and that absolutely cost this team 3 points.
Yeah, which they could have just kicked a field goal at the end to win.
100%.
And Jake Bates was damn good today.
He's been damn good this season.
So this is, Anson, oh, God, this is where you get your shit-eating grin on your face.
No.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Listen, you're the SOL guy till they shake it. This eerily familiar feeling of just clock mismanagement, check downs when you need to get the ball out of bounds, coming up inches short, not the right play calls at the right time. And, there's a ton of blame to go around. A lot of people in the chat during the watch party were blaming AG, blaming the defense. Once again, they held an NFL team to 20 points.
Yeah.
You would expect the Lions to win 95 out of 100 games that you hold a team to 100 points, because you think that you're holding this offense to 21?
Yeah. Well, it comes down to an offense that has been out of sync for 2 weeks now. This is an offense that didn't play together in the preseason. And I think around the league, week 1 was sloppy. Every single game. There was maybe 6 teams that looked prepared to start the season. Now you're looking at week 2, and Vegas has made a lot of money today because it's just been upset central everywhere across the NFL. To your point, on my drive here, this felt old school SOL. Now, at the same point, though, these are the cardiac cats. There's been 2 games in the last 20-plus that the Lions have actually been out of it. The Bears game,
right,
and then when we got shellacked by Lamar Jackson and his Ravens. This team, despite their offense not looking good at any point outside of the running game, and the running game, again, for 2 weeks, has kept this team in a game. Without it, we lose last week. Without it this week, we probably get beat a lot worse. But I'm not mad at the defense. Our rush defense is absolutely, it might be top 5 in this league right now. You look at what Hutchinson was able to do, how much we were able to get after the quarterback, and our defense is really becoming a strength of this team. But to your point again, if you hold a team to 20, 21 points, you should be able to win when you have an offensive crew like the Lions have. But we haven't been calling Laporta's name. There was so much work going to St. Brown that he ends up getting injured at the end there, so we don't have him for the last possession. The Lions and Ben Johnson, who I also thought was bad today, they have to figure this out. They've got to figure out that passing game, and they've got to inject some confidence into Jared Goff.
They figured it out early, though. It was all clicking early. Then just all of a sudden, I feel like Tampa Bay made the adjustment, and the Lions couldn't respond, right? Yep. The Lions came in with a good game plan. They were going deep. All of a sudden, Tampa Bay starts taking away those passes, and now they're check down city, right? Yep. And that's what happened today. And Jared Goff didn't have his best game, but here we go again with the haters of the world and the idiots of the world. A guy can take you to the NFC Championship game, win you more playoff games than you've ever seen in your life, and all of a sudden he's trash because it's one game.
Easy's ready to cut him.
Well, Easy's an idiot. Easy also sits over here and doesn't understand quarterback play in the slightest. You want the mic, Easy? We can turn on the mic, but you got your mouth
let him
full.
smash some of that Syrokis
This
first.
is the problem with Easy. He's always shoving shit in his mouth, and then he spews and regurgitates it back out. Instead of knowing actual ball, this guy...
Jerry!
Can you turn up Pop 4 over there so Mr. Easy can have here? Because here we go. Last week, Stafford throws for 300 yards on 50.
Defense mode right now.
I am in all-time defense mode.
I didn't say anything.
Because I got idiots that are jumping off the bandwagon, and then in week 4, you're going to be like, oh, it's a Super Bowl team. Oh, I told you they're winners. No, this is what wish-washy people like you and half the people in the chat, and Travis, and Noah.
You're not like me.
Yeah, like you.
Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo. You can go there with Jared Goff. Trust me, you've been there before.
Hold the mic close to your face. You don't even know how to talk on a mic. Yeah.
This is still a good team.
It is a good team. So shut up about one bad game.
But you cannot throw the ball with Jared Goff 56 times and expect to win that game. This is number one on Ben Johnson. You know who Jared Goff is. I know who Jared Goff is. I'm not asking him to put the game in his hands 56 times when I have a healthy Dave Montgomery and a healthy Jahmyr Gibbs, and they lost Vita Vea in the middle of that game. Ben Johnson, number one, Jared Goff, number two. You can't put him in those situations and expect him to excel.
And Jared Goff is not playing well. So when you realize that, your halftime adjustment needs to be a focus on the running game instead of, like you said, getting 56 pass attempts.
Yeah. You're not going to win. You're not going to win football games. Jared Goff passing the ball 56
Hold the mic
times
to your face
against Todd Bowles. It's just not going to be successful that way.
How many times did he throw it in the playoff game? How many times did he throw it in the regular season last week? No, I'm just curious. I'm not grilling you on this.
He had one 50-yard attempt game, and I think it was against Tampa that first time. We didn't have Gibbs. And we didn't have Monty.
Yeah, you had to throw it a bunch.
You had to throw it a bunch.
So you can win with Jared Goff throwing the ball.
If it's 31 to 27,
his record is below 500 throwing the ball.
But this is a different game. A 31 to 27 game, you can throw it 56 times.
Yeah.
When you're kicking field goals and you're being successful on the ground, you got to stick with it. And they went to the air.
Is it Jared Goff's call not to kick those field goals?
What do you mean? Today, there was no field goals to be kicked.
Yes, there was. Are you kidding me? They messed up at the end of the half. There was another one when they went for it, and they could have kicked like a 55, 60-yard field goal, which they could have tried.
When they punted, you mean?
Yeah, when they punted.
You're an all-time JG fucking
No, I'm just saying.
It was a bad game there, boy.
It was a bad game.
You need to own up to that.
I can own up to a bad game, but what you won't do is when he puts together 8 good ones, you won't acknowledge that those are 8 good games. You'll go back, well, week 2, he threw 2 interceptions.
However, unlike you, I know what is play calling and what is a guy taking a game over. I just never looked at him in that way because he's never been that. He's never been that. He's
never took over a game.
That's why you
can't. He's never took over a game.
No, he's never took over a game.
Let me just.
But that's why you can't.
Let me just
6 attempts.
Absolute hater.
Let me calm you two down.
I can't see the thing. It's his life.
I can't see the chat right now, but I'm sure that we need to calm them down too.
We can pull up the chat. I'm sure it's a bunch of
guys.
My very first comment was Ben Johnson. That's the very first name I said. It's not a hater thing. I've always kept it real. I just don't fucking cradle the balls and swallow the gravy. I'm not that type of guy when it comes to that quarterback.
You do when it's Matt Stafford.
Matt Stafford's very good.
Yeah,
okay.
But he lost last week throwing 50 times for 300 yards.
That game, he
did. He had this exact same game Goff did last week.
All right.
No, he did not.
Okay.
Let's spin
He didn't throw an untimely interception in the end zone before the half. Matthew Stafford didn't do that last week.
Was Jared Goff
That's the
Matthew Stafford last week?
This is just what drives me nuts is you won't hold him to the same standard.
Because you're just comparing those two performances.
Okay, wait a second, guys.
Wait, I was told last week 300 yards on 50 attempts is elite.
Are you trolling?
That's all.
Are you being Stick Bayless? You think you're being real?
What I'm doing is repeating what I'm told all week.
Are you being Stick Bayless?
What I'm told all week. All the Stafford sack suckers told me all week long, hey, he threw for 300 yards. And it's like, yeah, 50 attempts. Well, that's good. Okay, what about his interception in the end zone? Well, Stafford's elite. And Goff comes out, lays an egg, and now all of a sudden Stafford's still like, this is what I hate about you. And then you guys
listen, guys,
you people. I hate you people.
Mixed guys now. All of a sudden love
you mixed so bastards.
All right, so let's spin this a little bit. The Raiders right now are beating Baltimore in Baltimore, okay?
Yeah. Baltimore's trash.
This Lions team took on a playoff team, a division champion Tampa Bay Bucs.
Pissed off Tampa Bay Bucs.
And playing their worst brand of Lion football, still had a chance to win it on their very last possession, okay?
Did San Francisco lose today?
I think they did.
I believe so.
They lost to the Vikings.
Listen,
Which was good for us.
guys,
Yeah.
last year we went through the same thing. A huge high after a week 1 win, and then we come back in week 2, and Lions fans, the sky is falling after we lost to the Seattle Seahawks.
No, it shouldn't be that
and
way.
it's not. You got to look at this team and the garbage team, the play that they put out on the field today, and they still had a huge opportunity to win this game. Oh, by the way, as I watch that ticker, shout out to the youngest player in the NFL history to score a touchdown. I've been telling you all season, Braylon Allen with 2 tutties today, boys.
Yeah.
How about that?
Nobody cares.
How about that? All right, so I'm going to spin it a little bit here on karma, guys.
Allen?
Karma, all right?
That's not karma.
No, wait.
That's a
Matt
dynasty fantasy
Stafford.
grab right there.
Matt Stafford came in and said couldn't give any love to Detroit. And what happened to him last week? Your boy Baker Mayfield, and he is your boy now. After the playoff loss last year, he tipped his hat to the Lions fans and this amazing city.
I know.
And he had that karma on his back today because I'm going to tell you,
I still hate
Baker Mayfield ad-libbed a win today.
Yeah, he did.
The fact that he got tackled for a loss and a sack 4.5 times just by one man, but was able to get out of the pocket a few times to extend drives, get first downs, and a touchdown. You have to take your hat off to Baker Mayfield. As good as this Lions defense played today, it just wasn't quite enough. And at the end of it, it was
They held them to 20 points, man.
They were great.
Let's
They were
not
great.
act like
No,
Baker
I'm just
Mayfield
saying,
had his way with the Lions
I
defense.
mean, he made some plays,
He had
bro,
a
but we put
couple
up
good-
16 points.
But our
That's on
offense
us,
turned the ball over at least 2 times.
Yeah.
We couldn't extend
damn,
drives.
Josh
Jacobs. Yeah.
We make a huge mistake at the end of the first half. These are all things that can be fixed overnight for this team. Okay?
Simply put, man, just real quick, 56 attempts passing, 27 running. That's not Dan Campbell and Detroit Lions football, and that's why he didn't win today. You got too cute. You try to get – that's just not how we win games. We won a game last week. We ran the ball 9 out of 10 times. Just ran it straight down their throats. That's Dan Campbell football. We didn't do that
and
today.
you wonder why they didn't just go right back to it. You saw it working early in the game, but there's just like I said, we could probably break down a million different questions in this game. But what I really want everybody to understand is let's not be the same fans we were last year.
Please.
Like, can we learn as fans too? Because last year after the Seattle game, it was, oh God, the world's over. Jared Goff's awful. Our defense, fire everybody. Oh, this team's never going. Yeah. And we were at the same record at the same point in the season last year. Do you want to be 2-0? You're damn right you want to be 2-0. Did you just drop a heartbreaker at home? Yeah. Just like week 2 of last year. Now, how this team responds is what we need to focus on, and that's it. Because this is one of those game films you just take out back, you shoot in the head, and you bury it. Like, what are you going to learn from this game film?
I don't know, man.
Checkdowns aren't good.
I got to be honest, though. I do think there's something to be learned. There's 2 weeks in a row where this offense hasn't got to get going, and we operate very much in the middle of the field. I'm starting to wonder, has the NFL figured out the success formula for Jared Goff? Is it operating there in the middle of the field?
Is it Jared Goff or is it Ben Johnson? Because you're the guy that gives all the credit. You're the guy that gives all the credit to Jared Goff's success because of Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Are you going to give all the struggles to Ben Johnson, or are you going to be slanted in your opinion again?
No, I'm not.
Inquiring minds want to know.
I'm not slanted at all. I'm telling you how it is. That's why. I mean, the guy that we saw today is who we have. Like that's what it is. The genius in Ben Johnson is finding what Jared Goff can do. And utilizing that to its fullest. Now, the issue is it's a limited box. Has defense figured out to stop it? That's where I'm more concerned. That's why I can't wait to watch the tape.
I got to show love to Abby Brooks. She said it wasn't a must-win game. Division-wise, doesn't mean much. What are the odds of keeping the playbook tight, keeping tapes clean, or is this a collapse of readiness?
There's no keeping the playbook tight with 10 seconds to go. And you need a touchdown.
Yeah, you got to run your best play, right?
Yeah,
that's what we were discussing.
Yeah.
Like, I was calling for a reverse to J-Mo or a pass or some misdirection or something, but no, they want to throw it short of the effing goal line, and that's where I get mad.
The comeback.
Like, if you're not even giving yourself a chance to win, why even play the game?
Yep.
Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna jump off the bandwagon of this team. I'm not gonna say Jared Goff isn't my quarterback. Like, I'm not doing that shit. Not today.
Whether you like him or not, he's a quarterback. There's nothing you can do about it.
Hold the mic here.
Everybody's got to remember what happened last year after week 2. People were jumping off this bandwagon. People wanted coaches fired. People didn't believe in Jared Goff, and then we had a fantastic season. this coaching staff has shown how resilient they are and how capable they are at making adjustments as the season goes by. I don't think you throw this tape away at all, Stick. I think that this is a tape that you study and you take plays and throw them out, and then you look at some of the things that really work. Let's look at some of the highlights. Tim Patrick, first catch since 2021. Huge block to extend to Jameer. You want to keep complaining about Jared Goff? Or you want to talk about some of the good things that happened?
But if Tim Patrick is the highlight we're talking about, no wonder we lost the fucking game.
Well, what do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about J-Mo coming together, getting 8 receptions, and how many targets did he have? 11. Amon-Ra St. Brown coming back to life, having 11 receptions and 100-plus yards. I mean, if Tim Patrick is the highlight, we're screwed. We can say that for every single game we ever play.
I'm talking about things
119 yards for St. Brown.
We needed a third wide receiver. We got a big guy that's not afraid to block, that showed a little, oh, wow, look at this. He's going to score.
What was that?
He should have just kept going.
Yeah, he should have.
That was weird.
What are you doing?
Why are you throwing it forward?
Yeah,
we're watching the end of the Ravens game here, and
he just threw it down. Why
should have kept it?
0-2.
Do you see Bennett just slapped it down? Look at Minshew.
boy.
Oh, I love
Minshew.
That's the only guy I'd take over Jared Goff in the NFL is Gardner Minshew.
All right, so what'd you guys think about? What'd you guys think about Sione Vaki's first touch of the year?
On the fourth down?
Yep, 17-yard catch.
I thought that was a masterclass of when to do a fourth down call.
Really was.
I mean, literally in this bar, the energy was sucked out of it. People weren't really paying attention to the game at that point. We all looked, oh, shit, they faked it.
Ford Field was the same way.
But honestly, that's the master psychology of when to use it, because I wasn't paying attention. I was just like, oh, man.
On our own 20-yard line.
Yeah.
I mean, we would have hated Dan Campbell if he missed it, but this is what makes Dan Campbell great. The problem is then they had to go for it on another fourth down on that drive. Yeah. And then they didn't go for it on the other fourth down. It's just, at some point, when is enough, and when are you going to use 3 downs to pick up a first down?
Yeah.
You want to hear
today, Ben Johnson, my number one victim today. Not victim, but my number one guy, reason why the Detroit Lions came up short.
Yeah, I as much as I didn't like his play calling, and I do love Jared Goff, I got to put this on Jared Goff. There were some throws that you don't see out of Jared Goff when he's being pressured and he's falling back on his back foot, where he'll normally get that out of bounds. But you saw one on the sideline that got picked. You saw one at the end of the game in the middle of the field that got picked.
I think the J-Mo pick right in the beginning just fucked everything. Yeah. J-Mo getting knocked off his route like that, and it should have been an illegal defensive call.
That was bullshit.
That's another.
Yeah.
We could talk about.
Third.
We can talk about the refs, but
I'll tell you what.
Frank Ragnar was absolute horseshit too.
There was a catch by Amon-Ra St. Brown that he fumbled that they would have taken to the house that they called an incomplete pass. Yeah. That should have been a fumble.
But again, that's bad
Refs were bad. Refs were bad today. I want to circle back real quick to the punt, or fake punt.
Yeah.
An interesting stat. Since they've been here, Brad and Dan have gone for it 11 times and have 9 first downs on fake punts.
That's awesome.
Unbelievable.
Well, when you got a guy with
crazy.
A howitzer at quarterback / punter. I mean, Jack Fox, we used to joke that he was the best quarterback on the team.
He was.
Dude, that was such a tight spiral, and on route, too. It was a little slant pattern over the middle. It was for at least 12.
17.
17, yeah.
Jack Fox is 4 for 5 for 61 yards in his career. How about that?
I love that.
All right, here we go. Stick. If Goff is a Super Bowl winning QB, then why did the Lions take Hooker in the third, a guy who was a bare minimum, a second-round guy pre-injury? Okay.
No, he was a first top 10, 15 pick. He was about to be a Heisman.
So
he would have gone in the first round
Let
this
me
year.
answer the damn question.
They're offending my guy, Hooker.
So first we can go with
Streetwalker.
value, because Anson just kind of emphasized that it was a value pick there.
Yes.
It was a guy that could have gone early. You don't. Second, at that time, I think they actually did think Hooker could be the quarterback of the future.
Still could be.
But then, last year, Jared Goff comes out, wins you 2 playoff games, gets you to an NFC championship, has you winning going into the second half. You're a couple drop balls, we could argue, and maybe the Lions are in the Super Bowl. So you pay the man his money. It's that simple. So
You're too early for me.
the time they drafted him,
Pay him his money.
I think the idea was Goff's going to play another year or 2. Hooker will be ready. Let's hand it off. But then you saw what Goff could do, and you paid the man, and you let him run the team. So, Flannel Sam likes to say, with new information, opinions can change. Your new information on Jared Goff was he was a leader in the locker room. He took your team to 2 playoff wins, took you to an NFC championship game where you were leading in the second half. So all those things are true, but that to me, that's why Hooker was drafted. And I'll go back. I'm with Neil Rule on this. I mean, I would have loved Jake Moody in the 3rd round now that we can think about it.
My God, what are you – come on.
Just last year, you wouldn't have liked that?
No. We
No?
got Jake Bates. We're doing just fine.
I like Jake Bates now, but I'm talking last year.
No.
Like when that 3rd round pick on Moody would have been better.
How about Will Reichert
listen,
in the 6th? I'd have been fine with that.
I like Hooker. Listen, am I a Hendon Hooker guy?
Love Hooker.
Yes.
Always have been. So it's nothing against Hendon Hooker. I'm a Jared Goff guy before Hendon Hooker.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
So,
I think
so
the
that's
point
why.
you made first there with Jared Goff being the leader of this team, I think that's very much a bit of the identity change for them because your quarterback had a chip on his shoulder. Your coach had a chip on his shoulder. On top of just being a blue-collar guy, that was kind of all part of like the attitude and revisionist of this team. He was part of the culture change. I still wish the contract would have came after this season. There was no need to pay him right away, but we're still a good football team, and the season's not over. There's no reason to be on the Lions. That was a good Tampa Bay Buccaneers team that had every reason to want to win. We whooped their ass twice last year. Once at 3rd place, once to send them home fishing. They had every want to win. I mean, it was their game, and they outperformed us. I just can't wait to step in the film and just see what was going on with this offense 2 weeks consecutively and why we're not able to throw the football right now.
So the Lions have the Cardinals coming up next week. Then they got the Seahawks after that.
3-1, baby.
Those are 2 tough defenses,
3-1.
So that's the thing. The schedule doesn't get – you're leaving? All right. Love you. I'll see you at home. Anna, come here. Come here, Anna. Come here, Anna. Come here.
Come on, Miss Anna.
Come here, Anna.
Get up here.
I got to get my daughter up on here real quick. She showed out to Hayes Social. Come here, Anna.
Looking good in her hoodie.
She got her very own Lions hoodie. You say go Lions?
Go Lions, I guess.
Say Jared Goff. No, okay, no.
Not today, baby. Easy loving that.
I love you. I'll see you at home,
guys.
sweetheart.
See you guys.
Thank you. Love you, Corey. Love you, baby.
So let's talk about something else here. We've talked about X factors. Braylon and I have all offseason talked about the X factors on each side of the ball. One is Jamison Williams. We've seen him through 2 weeks absolutely affect this defense.
He's real.
Yeah.
The other one has been Jack Campbell. Now, I saw his name called a little bit today. I saw him make some mistakes today. Where do you guys see Jack Campbell and his development as our quarterback of the defense?
I don't want to harp on that one too much just because I'm honestly proud of the defense performance both times out now for these past 2 games. I think Baker Mayfield's on 200 yards. I definitely know damn sure they didn't run for 100 yards. I'm more looking at this offense. That's my question. But Jack Campbell, listen, it's something I'm willing to wait on. We had Levon Zarique take 3 years before he showed up.
True.
Jamison Williams took 3 years before he showed up. Derek Barnes took 3 years before he showed up. This is how Brad Holmes drafts these guys. He drafts like these seeds almost that need to grow. And I'm not willing to throw Jack Campbell under the bus for anything yet unless he was like a game goal line tackle or something like that. It's really the offense is my concern right now, as crazy as that sounds.
Man, I hate that they dropped this game because they throw a touchdown pass there at the end. We're all sitting here stroking this team like they're the best thing that ever happened. Like
I'm screaming Jared Goff.
Exactly, and that's why I get so frustrated because it's such a razor thin margin.
Yeah.
Like, yes, the game was absolute dog shit, but they had a chance at the 12-yard line. 2 or 3 plays to win the game, and if they do, everybody's like, but now it's like, the other way. Like, nobody can just be like, man, we played a good team. That was a tough loss. So, that's why I just don't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater with this, but damn, man, damn.
That sucks, man.
It's one I think the Lions will regret, but you just go back to all the simple things, and that's where it's really – I don't think I've ever seen Dan Campbell as mad as he was going into halftime.
He's pissed.
He ripped his headset off.
Walking.
He ripped everything off. He was so disappointed. I don't know if it was in himself.
It was his own mistake.
Was it his own mistake?
Well,
because the kicking
you weren't
team,
here, but at the end of the first half, as he was coming onto the field, they interviewed him on the sideline, and he said, "I totally screwed our guys." He himself said that this is something that we're going to have to overcome in the second half. And they weren't able to overcome those 3 points.
Yeah. Kind of the game there because we could have kicked the field goal there and we're up.
Yeah.
So, we're relying on that defense that's damn good. Aiden Hutchinson, 4.5 sacks all day.
Well,
4.5
yeah,
sacks.
so what's your
what a
over-under on his
waste-
sack total this year?
What a wasted
Dude.
performance.
5.5 sacks through 2 games. How many is he going to have, gentlemen?
Two backup tackles. I'll put that in there, but listen, I'll put that 15.
They get paychecks
16.
too.
He's going over 15, baby.
Yeah.
15 and a half. You going plus? Going over?
Fuck it. Let's do it. I like Levi and Enrique. EJ Reader back in limited fashion.
Yeah, Reader comes
Coach
back
Davenport.
fully.
Oh,
Reader
what a
comes
drop.
back fully, and I'll tell you that Hutch is going to have a lot of room to operate, man. And you saw him today, 3rd year. This guy is really assaulting record books for a defensive lineman.
Yeah, maybe let's just run the ball more, man. That's for me. Like, you saw what Montgomery's able to do last week in overtime. Let him get into a rhythm, and he'll carry you home at least within a scoring vicinity. And we didn't do that. We didn't. I don't know why. Maybe there was a specific reason why. I'm sure Dan Campbell will be asked why. I'm hoping for the beat reporters out there. We need to know why the ball wasn't ran a lot more in that first half. That's my question.
We got a super chat from Killer Panda.
Shout out.
We paid a game manager, game changer money.
Ooh.
Defensives have figured him out. Aiden had a 5 sacks game, and no one will care. He's not going to get any Defensive Player of the Year love after a great performance because of goof. And I think he purposely spelled golf wrong. You know,
now, that's a Jared Goff hater.
What do you think about paying a game manager, game changer money?
I think that's what we did. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, but the thing is, he's the leader of this team. He's part of the attitude change. It was a year too early for me.
Well, you can call him a game manager, but he was a franchise changer last year.
I'm just so confused.
You can win. Here's the thing, Stig. You can win games with game managers, but you can't give them game changer money because when you have a game manager, you need a team all around. And that's where it gets a little dicey. You can't pay a guy like that needs pieces around him money that's taken away from the pieces we need to win with him, if that makes sense.
I have a rough time calling a guy who took one franchise from the depths of hell to a Super Bowl and another franchise from the depths of hell to an NFC champ. It never is. But who was the guy? I mean, like, you can't deny who was the quarterback of those teams.
How many
Who's
quarterbacks?
the common denominator of those teams?
He literally got replaced, and the team won a Super Bowl the very next year.
But they also added Odell
that's
Beckham
the
Jr.,
value
they
there.
added
You know what I'm
Von
saying?
Miller, they added Jalen Ramsey. So, like,
matter.
let's not – what do you mean? It doesn't matter? I thought it was a team thing.
For the
Easy.
Rams game
Like
against
this-
Tampa Bay Buccaneers that
Jesus.
year they won the Super Bowl. Jared Goff making that throw Matthew Stafford did to put them in the field goal.
The one that the cornerback dropped that hit him right in the chest after Tampa
Los
Bay
Angeles Rams.
go
At
watch the
Tampa
game.
Bay,
Go watch
Matthew
the game.
Stafford delivered an absolute dime of a bomb.
No, a ball
Cooper
hit
Kupp.
the defender right in the
You're talking
chest.
the NFC Championship game.
Gentlemen, can you guys name one season that a quarterback played 16 or 17 exceptional games and didn't have one off night?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay,
no.
I can't either.
And that's the thing.
So this guy still had us within inches to win this game. Our head coach cost us 3 points. Now, now let me tell you something. If I told you there's 21 games straight that the Lions have done something, what would you think that it was? 21 games straight, the Lions have failed to score a touchdown on the opening drive, guys.
I thought that was Tampa Bay.
No, it's the Lions.
I thought it was Tampa Bay.
No.
You're dead?
No, I'm making sure.
Oh, no, you're good.
Maybe it was. Maybe I heard that wrong. But
Yeah, no, that was Tampa Bay.
not scoring touchdowns.
Yep, that was Tampa Bay.
Okay, well, I'll take that back. I'll walk that one back.
That was a graphic they showed on the broadcast.
I was listening on
by
the radio.
Way, for Dan Campbell stuff, as a leader, sometimes you just got to take accountability because you're the leader of the team. I don't necessarily know that's on Dan Campbell. Yeah,
Dan Campbell took the blame.
A true
do you have the
leader
video?
is going to do that.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Hold on one second.
The guy you want to play for.
Let's hold up the video. Hold on. Let's see what Dan Campbell says.
You know, I asked for improvement from last story, and we did improve.
I don't know.
All right. Either way, Dan Campbell took credit for the loss. He wanted improvement. They showed it. I have a rough time accepting that they showed improvement in this game, but at the same time, I don't think they showed that they got any worse either. To me, it was a wasted week. That's what this was. This was a wasted week for the Detroit Lions.
Well, do the Detroit Lions fans also need to learn how to be a contending team? Like, we have to understand that we're getting everyone's best shot. We've played 2 back-to-back playoff teams. We won the first one just barely. We just barely lost this one. And again, this team has found a way to stay in games until the very last snap. So in week 2, this is a kind of a loss that I think can be a building loss. It's been a long time since we talked about good losses, because that's all we thought we had back in the day. But
the Cowboys were the last good loss last year I thought we had.
I'd agree. And this one has to be that for us. This has to be the springboard where we win 3, 4, 5, 6 games in a row. And this has to be that learning moment for Ben Johnson and his quarterback to figure out what's working for this team in 2024. Because the stuff that we were relying on last year, it seems like we've been just kind of putting those plays in and expecting them to work. But they've been shopping us all summer. All these teams been watching us, doing film on us. They know what we want to do, and they've got to take their next step as play callers and as a quarterback executing those plays in order for us to be a Super Bowl championship team this year. So this kind of a loss, if we get out of this game and we win and we think everything's all right, then maybe we're looking at a face plan against Arizona. This game showed the Lions what needs to change. They need to run the ball more.
I'm proud of this guy.
What happened to SOL?
I'm proud of this guy because this honestly, Anson, this is like Easy's taking this is his time for glory on golf.
Oh, yeah.
This,
You knew it.
This very well
Time
could
to
have been
run
your. Anytime golf even stumbles, Easy's there to be like, but anytime he throws 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, Easy quiet. He quiet.
Yeah. I'm like, great play calling.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ben Johnson really did that up that
I'll
game.
say Goff had a phenomenal throw in that Tampa Bay game in the playoffs last year. But as you said, they've been game planning us for us. I mean, we knocked these guys out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So talking about everybody being hungry for us, we kicked
But
these guys out.
honestly, I'm very proud that you're not like all over the Lions SOL because to me, honestly, I'm not an SOL guy, but watching them fumble that field goal at the end of the half, watching them go for it on 4th downs all the time, it was just like, what the hell is going on? Why can't we figure this out?
Old school Lions team lost this game 31-14.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And I'm telling you, 3-4 years ago, this is a blowout. The Lions aren't even in it. And even when the Lions' offense is just stalled out, they're not playing well, they're turning the ball over, we still had a chance. And that's huge for me. I know it's a home game, but it's still against a division champion playoff team that we put ourselves up on their bulletin board all summer after handing them a loss and ending their season.
I think the chat has figured it out, and they agree with you, Easy. We need to get rid of Goff and get a black guy at quarterback.
Oh, man. Did they really say that?
I don't care what my quarterback is, to be honest with you guys. I'm looking at talking about a black quarterback. Malik Willis and the Green Bay Packers had a win today. But look at Josh Jacobs, 32 carries. Run the ball.
They ran the ball over 50 times.
Having a great game, or you can't depend on your quarterback in that specific moment. Run the fucking ball.
As a team, they ran over 50 times.
Yes.
Well, and we could have done that today. We could have done that today.
Gone in that second half. I'm not like he's getting blocked. No, literally out the game.
Yep.
You got hurt. Run the ball.
Yeah, they couldn't stop us on the
I'd love
ground.
to talk about positives of this game, but honestly, outside of
Me too.
outside of Aiden Hutchinson, what else? Name one guy that you could be like, oh, that was a good game.
Levi Enrique, I'll give some love to.
Okay.
Brian Branch, I'll give some love to.
Can I talk about Tim Patrick yet?
Yeah, so how about Jameson Williams for him, though?
Yeah, why are we talking about Tim Patrick?
Well,
he had 2 catches.
Because we talked about
he had 2 catches.
This is his first game since 2021. He was out at 22, 23. He had back-to-back 700-yard seasons all off season. I know that each one of our shows has been talking about that third wide receiver that we needed. We got a big guy who's over 6 foot who showed the propensity to block downfield. Like he extended that Gibbs run in the 4th quarter by an extra 10 yards because he was blocking. 3 targets, caught 2 of them. I think that this is a plus in this game that we can talk about. We found, I think, that guy at number 3 that allows Khalif Raymond.
Found Josh Reynolds.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that is a plus.
Yep.
I can't shake that as a plus. That's a plus.
Okay.
Sione Vaki gets his first.
What do you want? Tim Patrick caught 2.
Hey, we don't
We're
have
doing it, boys. We're doing it.
What do you guys want to talk about Amon-Ra's injury? Because that should be really what we're talking about.
We don't know what that is either, huh?
It's scary.
He injured that earlier in the game. You saw it.
Been a flare-up.
And then it just got worse. He got hit again. You saw it earlier in the game, him a little bit gimpy, and I thought they were going to use a timeout to take him out, but then he put him right back out there, and then you saw who's this white guy running the ball for
Steele, baby? Carson
Gator boy.
Steele.
He's got a pet alligator.
So speaking of Kansas City, I talked to
Of course he does. Him and Ernie Sims are hanging out.
Speaking of Kansas City, on Wednesday I talked about the fact that Travis Kelce, Pfizer Swift, and Taylor Swift are a fake couple. And this week, TMZ released their whole planned breakup, including the 3 songs that she's writing about the breakup, which has structured things that she can and cannot say about
Are
Kelce.
we really talking about this?
Yeah,
What else do you guys want to talk about?
The Lions. This is the Lions post-game show.
Are you guys just going to shit all over him some more? Because am I literally the only positive person about the Lions today? Because that's some 180 type shit.
I just said, what other positive things can we point to? We got Aiden Hutchinson. We got Amon-Ra St. Brown. We got. I would say. Yeah, you just wanted to get your Pfizer shot in there, buddy.
No, you guys stopped. You guys ran out of things. I said Tim Patrick.
You took over. Okay. Speaking of which.
No, the last one was Tim Patrick, and then you guys got nothing. So give me another plus.
My
of this
neighbor
game.
has 3 rabbits.
What's the plus of this game?
My teacher's a vampire.
You started with Carson Steele and give me that
Paley
shit.
school kids over
No, J-Mo, I thought, was obviously a positive out of this game, re-cementing himself as a go-to wide receiver, potential number 1. Would you say he's the number 1 wide receiver in this offense now?
On another team.
Dude, honestly.
In this
No,
offense
he's
now?
not.
I'll say this. The number 1 playmaker.
Sure.
As of now.
Okay.
Take the top off
thus far this
playmaker,
season.
but when it comes to third down, you know where they're going. When it comes to goal line, you know where they're going.
I don't
When it
know.
comes
They went to
10
him.
He's
plus.
catching him short and running, too,
Yeah.
sometimes, man.
How many games do you think he's going to have 10-plus targets?
I mean, he had 9
3?
last week. How
2,
many
3?
did he have this week?
I think he had 8.
You sure?
I don't know
No.
about 10-plus targets. But number 1 playmaker, I'm willing to say that, yes.
Sure. But probably in a third of the
targets.
offenses in the league, he'd be the number 1 option. He'd be the number 1 wide
Game-breaking
receiver.
speed, man. Like, give him the ball and run the football.
Well,
first
and
and
beyond
foremost.
that, blocking. He had a couple nice blocks.
Great block on Levante David, who he's a household name when it comes to linebackers.
Yeah.
But just
Great block.
run the football first and foremost. Keep the defense honest. You know what Jared Goff's great at that no one can deny? Play action. Play action.
Yep. He's
Take
the
handoffs. Run the football. Get the play action going.
Didn't
And with
see
that,
much of
get
that today.
J-Mo in space and let him make plays. I mean, I'm not an offensive. I'm not NFL brilliant, but like it feels that simple with this team. They're just that good everywhere. I feel like that should be the recipe.
Well, and there you go, back to running the ball and like why
Yeah.
Jared Goff is a good quarterback, but if you're not running the ball, you're not supporting your good quarterback.
Correct.
And like you said, statistically last year he was the best play action passer in the NFL.
Yes.
The
He's
best.
been, like, year
So
after
if you
year,
don't
too.
establish that run early, you're really hurting yourself, and that goes back to your boy Ben Johnson.
Yes.
If Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell don't understand that, hey, let's establish punching him in the face first, and then we could run everything off of that.
Yeah.
But it seemed like they wanted to come out today and just be aggressive. I mean, first play, bombing it down the field, I thought it was pretty awesome. But at the same time, it kind of gave you an insight on to what was to come. It wasn't like a one-off play to hit them quick. It was like, okay, we're going to try to push the ball downfield constantly on these guys.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Like I know we disagree on the quarterback, but I think as a play caller, you know what you have in Jared Goff. You need to set that run for him to be ultimately successful. For him to be number 2 in the league in yards, the run has to be there.
Yeah.
All right, so we thought it was going to be Mike Evans. Chris Godwin goes off in this game.
I thought it was going to be him.
So back-to-back weeks, we've got a number 1 wide receiver going off against this new and improved Lions secondary. Is this a concern for you guys?
I mean, that less than 200 yards last week. Here's the thing. First and foremost, I said this on the show Friday, by the numbers, shout out. There hasn't been a single running back in the NFL to run for 100 yards on this team. And now 631 days, I think that total count is. Teams have to pass the ball on us. I think we should just get comfortable with seeing these passing stats because that's all they can do.
I agree.
And it's just up to our guys in the back to make plays. Brian Branch made one. We didn't capitalize on offense, and then we gave the ball away 2 more times. Your defense is going to look great when you're doing that to them.
At the end of the day, it's about points allowed. I don't care about yards. Yeah. I don't care about anything between the 20s. It's points allowed. And right now the Lions are averaging 20 points a game, which is pretty damn good for today's NFL.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
It's not pretty good for the offense that I envisioned this year. It's not enough.
It's not. And that's the tape that I think a lot of guys are waiting to get into is what is going on? Is the middle of the field discovered? I think the Chicago Bears are the first team to have that recipe on us. back-to-back games last year.
Yep.
And I think everyone kind of studied that because Chicago Bears weren't a great team.
Three straight halves they beat our ass.
Yes. And, I mean, we got to either open it up on the sidelines, trust JG to get it out there deep in those situations, or just run the ball and force their hand.
Yeah, but as far as the secondary goes, I think they've been playing leaps and bounds better. I mean, that was a freak stat line that we saw today. Like, at one point, it was 10 passes for 117 yards. All of them completed to Godwin.
Yep.
All of them. Godwin had 117 yards. Baker had 117 yards.
I've never seen him.
It was a very bizarre stat line, and you wonder if that was part of the game plan. All right, we're going to take away everybody else. We're going to let this guy eat, and we'll see what happens. Unfortunately, the offense just could not support the defense holding up. And look, I mean, that stat was about halfway through the game, too, and then he ended with 117 yards.
I was just going to say, that got nipped in the butt.
Right.
And, like, you might see that. It was like two big throws, 2 and 2, but he was like 7 of like 9 at that point when that stat came out. And shout out to AG and those guys for adjusting. I can't blame the defense for much. I really can't. Like, they limited just 20 points.
Very happy with the defense.
And that's with them getting the ball back in opportune field positions too. So,
did we ever think we'd be to a spot this quickly? Yeah,
no,
yeah. Like,
I did not.
Especially this early in the season, right?
I did not think that. No, it is weird.
What are you guys talking about? This is deja vu of last year. We were all together at the studio, and you got. I mean,
but last year it was an overtime loss.
Yeah,
last year it was an overtime loss, and they scored 37 points. It wasn't
last year,
like
week 2 we had 1 sack, and it was Anzalone after Geno Smith tried to extend a play. Today we had 5 sacks from Hutch alone.
So, to me, I think that we should be encouraged by what we've seen today.
On defense.
But the stuff that we know works, which is the offense, they didn't play in the preseason. These first 2 games is basically our offense's preseason games.
I hate that argument, though.
You hate that argument.
Game 1, you get it out.
But this is the last couple of years, the first time.
But do you think we're the only team that's doing that?
No, I'm telling you, a bunch of teams look rusty through 2 weeks, and it's because of this new trend to not play your starters in the preseason games. And I think it's costing teams games. Look at the Ravens are 0-2. Lions should be 2-0. And I'm telling you, Jared Goff and the offense.
Ravens are 0-2.
Yeah. Jared Goff and our offense looks rusty and out of sync.
How dare you speak on Jared Goff's
like
name.
this.
I can't agree with that because sometimes they just look unbeatable and then they get bogged down. So to me, they're inconsistent.
Out of sync. So they're
but
inconsistent.
not rusty because they have moments of where they're going, man. Like we were talking earlier in the game, first half, it's like, man, they're doing everything they want. Jamo's getting fed. St. Brown's getting fed. Demon's hitting the only one we haven't seen was Laporta at that point. So I don't know. I don't have. To me, the answer is what Easy's been yelling. Run the damn ball.
Run the ball.
Run the ball. Control the clock. You know, give your best play action passer a play action.
We didn't see much play action today.
You didn't because they knew you were trying to pass. And those short passes,
They wrote the book on us last week with the short passes.
Well, it seemed like we were trying to be the Rams of last week, and then this is what happens. And this is why everybody thought the game plan for the Rams was bad. But look how frustrated you are that you could only complete 5-yard passes as a Lions fan. How do you think the Rams felt last week? The same way. So you got to feel the same way, guys. Like, you got to look at this the same thing. If you were pissed off that the defense allowed that last week, you can't say the offense struggled because you were pissed off. Like, I don't know.
There's a new defensive trend in the NFL that was started to combat the Kansas City Chiefs and Pat Mahomes, and that's the 2 deep safeties. Now you're seeing 2 deep safety sets everywhere. Exactly. So you look at that and you put that up against the Rams, they got to go short. We saw a whole bunch of that today. That took away a lot of our downfield stuff. And I know that we don't consider Jared Goff a big downfield thrower, but when you really are kind of just relegated to those 15 to 10-yard passes, it really changes the type of offense that Ben Johnson wants to run.
So next week we get the Cardinals. I mean, it's a 4 o'clock game, which is kind of nice.
Where we at, there or here?
It's in Arizona.
Okay.
First road test of the year, which, it's crazy that the Lions already got 2 home games out of the way this season.
Yeah, don't like that.
Yeah.
Should be 2-0.
That's why I was pissed. I hate dropping home games, man.
No doubt.
I hate it.
Especially in the loudest building in the league.
Exactly, man.
Especially when you should be winning.
Yes.
That you talked about it during the fake punt. Ford Field was quiet at that point, and it was a masterful psychological move to choose that moment to kind of shift the crowd. But it never felt like Ford Field ever was able to get into this game.
Yeah, Alex Peters here. I agree. The option play was stupid. the little option pitch by Goff at the end. Did you see that?
Yeah.
And that's where it looked like Ben Johnson was in panic mode because you were seeing things that we never did. Pitch out plays, like little short passes underneath.
He looked pissed off the entire game, too. At least the second half. He looked pissed off the entire time, too.
Man.
I don't know. Listen, Panay on the injury report this week. Was it him being banged up? They're not really able to run the ball that you wanted to? Or I don't know what it was, but I don't even know if we'll get answers. But hopefully next week we go into Arizona and take care. I mean, they're going to be. They remind me of us in 2021, though. They're going to be some tough.
Who, Tampa?
No, Cardinals.
Cardinals? Yeah, I have a rough time.
Good, but just tough.
I have a rough time taking them serious. I do.
That was us in 21.
Yeah, no, I get it. But
so you might win, but we're going to punch you in the fucking mouth,
You think the Cardinals are that attitude team?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean,
I haven't seen that out of them.
They just went up 21-0 on the Rams with 14 minutes.
Cardinals did?
Yeah.
With 14 minutes left in the second quarter.
They're going to be bastards this year to everyone.
God damn, look what the Saints did to the Cowboys.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Marvin
that was a surprise
Marvin
right there.
Harrison Jr. had a goose egg in his first game as a pro. They're going to rectify that. They're going to get him the ball early.
Well, he already
and
has a
often.
touchdown.
Yeah,
he already has a touchdown.
There you go.
Good for him.
All right, well, Woodward and Maine will wake you up tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. 7 a.m. Terry Foster and Matthew Broder. They're going to talk more about this debacle. I really don't know what else we can cover about this game, guys. Like, usually with the post-game show, we're just kind of repeating ourselves at this point. So we're going to have a hell of a post-game show next week. We got the phones working, so phone lines will be open next week here at Hayes Social because we want your crowd interaction. We want to hear from you. Make sure you like. Make sure you subscribe. Killer Panda, again, with a super chat. The Rams are being cooked by the Cardinals right now. Maybe that win wasn't as good as we thought.
Marvin with 4 for 130 and 2 touches already.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, have a great day.
So, wait,
cool.
can we talk about Tim Patrick before we go?
All right.
Hold on. No, actually, me and Easy are out of here. The Tim Patrick Show starring Anson Wells is up next. Go ahead, Anson. 5 minutes of Tim Patrick. Take it away.
Well, last week, Amon-Ra didn't get to play out of the slot. They thought that was a reason. They're just going to cut me off in the middle of this. Tim Patrick pushes him back in the slot. Hopefully he's healthy. See you guys tomorrow, Woodward and Maine.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.